Hello and welcome to episode number 3 of Down to the Wire. My name is Marc Bellamy. I'm the founding partner of Williams International Real Estate, and I'm here with my business partner and CEO of Williams International, Matthew Small. What are we here to talk about today then, Matt?
So today's just a quick one, basically just to talk about a little bit about our journey of how we came, a little bit about Ramadan and mentality during Ramadan for real estate agents, and also just regarding what new brokers can expect when moving over to Dubai, as I feel like there's a lot of misconception amongst new brokers that come over to do real estate. So that's kind of the bare bones of it. Let's start off with telling everyone why you chose Dubai to come and what was in the plan for you.
Yeah, I originally came across Dubai because I wanted more commission where I was. So I thought I wanted to maybe move to central London, get more commission on the deals because obviously the house prices are a lot higher. And I see an advert that popped up that said you can earn £100,000 a year, £200,000 a year tax-free in Dubai. And when I looked into Dubai, looked into the city, looked into the plans, looked at what they were doing here, and then what the potential earnings are of a real estate agent in Dubai, that I had to see if I could do it. I had to see if I could give it a go. I think long story short, as an estate agent in England, you're not rewarded for the money. You know, you're not rewarded for the time that you put into the job. Like, estate agents work from 8 a.m. till 7 p.m.
Yeah.
That's 11 hours a day. And the max I was taking home was maybe £2,200 on a good month by the end of it. And that's half of what at least an established leasing agent will earn here.
How old were you when you came?
So I was 24. I had it in my mind from the age of about 22 to move to Dubai, but I did it when I was age 24.
And do you reckon you followed the protocol of what you should do when you move to Dubai in terms of savings, money, that type of thing?
I probably should have brought out a little bit more money, but that's why I looked into doing things like renting a hostel. So I stayed on a bunk bed, shared a room with 5 other fellas. When I got here, I paid £75 a week for my accommodation when I got here, so I had to keep costs down.
You're the only person I've ever met in my whole time in Dubai that's ever done that.
I had to keep costs down, and then obviously I pitched to you to share a room, and we ended up sharing a room for 6 months. But that I knew that if I didn't do that, I would be home within 5 weeks, 6 weeks. So you do what you have to do, didn't you? So
100%. I mean, a little bit different for me, to be honest. I had a real estate business in the UK. Same in terms of like earning potential. Obviously, I was a bit older, I was 28, but your best month take home was like maybe £4,000, which in Bournemouth, where I'm from, seemed like a good amount of money, but it was never going more than that, and the place itself was just quite slow. And it was just out of nowhere. I didn't even have Dubai in the mind. It was a LinkedIn message from our original company that just said, would you consider moving? And I think 2 months later, I sold my shares to my business partner and I came. I think for me, I was already on commission only as an owner. So going to a 50-50 split in commission was actually increasing 10% of what I was earning. So I think I was a little bit different in terms of my perception when I came over here. Like, I knew what to expect about working commission only. I wasn't leaving a salaried job. But in terms of amount of money I came over with was definitely not enough. Obviously, that's why I ended up lumping a room with you for 6 months, which was not on my radar initially. As you know, I flat out declined that offer on day 2 of our training when I didn't know you. And then when I was looking at the prices of what it costs to rent a room, I knew I'd be home in 2 months if I had my own room. So we ended up bunking up. It was enjoyable, actually, to be fair, wasn't it?
So obviously we want this podcast to be about adding value to other people, and there might be a lot of people out there that might have just started in Dubai real estate, or they might be looking to move to Dubai to do real estate. So what will it take for them to be successful, and what are the major sort of mistakes people make when they first move to Dubai?
I think expectation versus reality is massive. Like, obviously people come over here depending on who they've spoken to and think you're going to walk into a job like probably a lot of people did when we were at our old company, you think you're going to walk into a job and you're going to clean out £200,000 a year take home, and it's going to be easy. And that's the biggest misconception. Even though the market's increased and there's a lot of transactions and the market's fantastic, there's also probably like double, triple the amount of brokers, so the competition's fierce. So I think you need to expect to be back against the wall from day one, really. And you need to work hard, you need to graft, you need to get your head down. If you don't, you won't be a success in this job. Like, hard work at the start is everything. There's no like slip road to success, I would say. So the expectation of coming here and doing the bare minimum of an 8-hour day, you're never going to make it as flat out as it is. And you need to be expected to, you know, put the extra hours in. And those people that put in those 10, 12-hour days at the start, they're the people that make the money the quickest.
I think back to when I first started, and like I did go on a night out here and there, whatever. I slipped up. Maybe I didn't put in the effort every single day. But I pretty much, over the course of the first 6 months, I gave it everything. And you don't need to have real estate experience, but I did it for 6 years in England. So I had transferable skills, and I had the scripts. I had like things, I had the tools and ammunition to come out with. And I still gave it absolutely everything. And my brother said something to me recently, right? He said he's training for like 3 marathons this year. He's going to run 3 marathons. And he said if he gets home of an evening, obviously got a little one as well, but if he gets home of an evening and it's getting to like 9:30 at night and he's not falling asleep on the sofa, he's pissed off because he's not done enough. Yeah. And so he needs to rectify it like the next day. And I think that is the attitude that you have to have when you come to Dubai. Is you have to leave everything out there, like in that office, and to the point where you're coming home at night and you're falling asleep on the sofa because you've done everything that you can. Yeah, 100%. And if you're not doing it, you have to make sure you're doing it the next day.
I'd say the biggest mistakes as well is you touched on it a bit, not getting caught up in the Dubai lifestyle. I think more than even when we were here, like obviously when we first came 8-9 years ago, there's just so much to do every night and you can get caught up in it. I mean, I did get caught up in it a bit, to be honest, back in the day.
Yeah, but you were earning money though, that's the thing.
Yeah, I mean, look, I would never recommend that, like going out on weeknights, school nights and trying to make it happen. It does work for some people, but essentially if you get caught up in that life, you just easily spend all your money. And we've had people come to our firm and do that even though advised not to, and lo and behold they spend all their money in 2-3 months and they're back home. It's an absolute waste of time.
When we first moved to Dubai and we moved into our first 𝐀�ㄎ, that first weekend that we were moving in, we lived with 3 girls at the time, and I was literally moving in. I was literally moving into the apartment, and they go, "Oh, you come in brunch?" And I knew that they had all recently started, and they're like, "Oh, we're going to brunch. Are you coming?" And I looked at them like, what? Like, I couldn't believe that they'd just moved to Dubai. I'd been there 2 weeks or 3 weeks, and I'm being asked, "Are you going to brunch?" No, of course I'm not going to brunch. I've just got here. I haven't done a deal. I need to work. Yeah. Like, and that's the mentality of some people. Like, move out here, first 2-3 months, go to brunch every weekend. I'm sorry, but if you want to be successful, you have to stay disciplined. You're bored, or whatever the case is, I'm bored, or I want to have a drink, whatever. Stay disciplined. It's 2 years of your life, right? Maximum 2 years of your life. Let's say, like, where you are making enough money and disposable income, yeah? After 2 years of solid graft. And then you can go brunch every weekend for the next 48 years. Do you know what I mean? Like, sacrifice the 2 years.
Yeah, no, I get it. I mean, obviously, that's the biggest downfall for, I'd say, the biggest downfall for most people, and obviously not expecting how hard they're going to work. And obviously that time you go out at the weekend, you're losing your Monday because the hangovers are hard to deal with. You're not focused, you're not switched on, you're going home early. So there's just zero positives to it. I mean, kind of brings on, I think it'd be useful to talk about the cost of living in Dubai, because obviously it's, compared to the rest of the world, it's not changed much, I don't think, from when we were here. We came in, obviously the rents were quite high in 2016, and it was like, 6,000 dirhams to rent a room, hence why we had little twin beds, and we split it down the middle, and we paid like 3,000 each, which obviously saved us. But I think if you were to rent a room now, it's probably similar, no?
I think so, yeah. I'm not looking at that.
You're not looking to fancy it? Fancy twinning up again?
I was thinking about this, like, and like even like the cost of like a food shop, and like the cost to go on a night out or brunch or whatever, like all these things seem to be the same price.
Yeah, it's
as
like
they were 9 years ago, 8 years ago.
100%. I mean, rents have obviously they went down massively pre-COVID, and now they've jumped right back up. And if people have only been here since COVID times, they would think the rents are astronomical now. But in fact, they're similar to what we were experiencing in 2016. And if you look at the comparison to renting a place, even where I'm from in Bournemouth, if you want a nice 2-bedroom apartment like facing the sea, you're paying similar to what you're going to pay here. And that's in Bournemouth, a coastal town. So, and London's even more expensive. I mean, we was in Liverpool recently and, bought 3 beers and it was the exact same price as it would be in Dubai. So everywhere else over the last 9 years has got super expensive. Like the cost of living, if you're going to live in any major city, in the UK, Italy, Spain, anywhere I've been, it's been the same price or more expensive than actually living here. So I think that's another misconception that people think. They come to Dubai and it's super expensive. But in comparison to what you can earn, obviously if you graft and you don't pay income tax, the difference is massive, like I would say. So that's why we're seeing so many families move here as well, families with kids. Because even though you have to pay for the schooling, obviously the level of the schooling even is so much higher than anywhere else. So we've had, obviously in our firm alone, we've had people move out there with their kids happily. So yeah, I'd say that's something to consider for people moving out here. Don't be afraid that it's expensive. Obviously, if you're going to go out drinking every night, but that would be the same anywhere in the world if you go out drinking every night.
It can be very expensive, and I think maybe they're hearing about the holiday makers and what they spend, but they're going to a 5-star hotel on the Palm and going out every night. If you're here on holiday or you're having fun all the time, then it can be very expensive. But if you're disciplined, it can be very cost effective. It's cheap to live here. It can be.
I mean, yeah, just say cheap. I mean, it was the cost of living thing. Obviously, we were talking about what we want to talk about, and realistically, though, when we were here 8-9 years ago, cost of living felt expensive. Even like I wouldn't even let you buy the beans you wanted and the ketchup because I was like, nah, save the fills where we can, mate. But like, and we didn't have any money, so obviously it's all relative. But if you actually like break it down, I'd say that Dubai's reasonable to live in. It sounds crazy to say, but in comparison to everywhere else, yeah, it's flatline. I don't feel like it's gone up in price. I might be wrong, but do you feel it? I don't know.
No.
So was we start? I was going to ask you, Mark, what would you say is a good amount for people to come over with saved wise in the bank when they come here?
50 to 60,000 dirhams, I would say.
Yeah. So break that down then in terms of what is the cost do you think they need per month then?
I don't know. Oh, God.
He hasn't got a fucking clue.
I don't have a fucking clue.
So basically come out here...
I don't fucking know, mate.
Come out here 50, 60k and just fucking like live basically. Do what you can.
I've got no idea.
So basically, if you come out here 50, 60k, you'd probably be
I don't know
right.
how much anything costs.
So if you break it down, I think, let's look at rent, 5,000 dirhams a month. Car, 2,000 dirhams a month. That's 7,000 dirhams a month. Phone bill, 500, 7.5, and you can live off 2,500 dirhams a month if you're not going out. So
that's 10,000.
That's 10,000 dirhams a month to live a very simple life.
So if you brung 50,000 dirhams out to Dubai and you're living like that, you've got 10,000 dirhams a month.
Yeah.
You're here for 5 months before you need to get paid on a deal, effectively.
Essentially, yeah. But you'd have to. But that's living very strict. Yeah, that's like never not ordering takeaways every day. You start doing that, you're gonna need a bit more. But even if you are ordering takeaways, 15,000 dirhams a month is a very comfortable amount to live off. 100%. So that gives you a runway for 3-4 months. And if you're coming out here, essentially you should be going into leasing to start with to learn your trade, and you can do deals in month 1, month 2. I wouldn't say we don't actually ask for like proof, but our old company did. And don't lie because it can cause you a headache. I mean, that's what we did. I did. I don't know if you did. But
I did, yeah.
Yeah, I had a friend transfer me the money over.
But like, how can we say that? How can we give that advice? We both got money transferred to us to prove that we came out with £10,000. I came out with 6.
I came out with 4.5.
4.5. And now we're telling people, yeah, don't do that. I think do it. Do you know what I do? I think do it. I think if you've got if you think you've got the most elite mindset and you want to, not that I have, but I'm just saying if you do, and you want to live on a bunk bed or you want to sleep in your car like Johnny did for 2 weeks in case the shit hits the fan, come out with £6,000. Give it a go. But 99.9% of people would fail with that, but give it a go.
Yeah, it's all mentality, isn't it? I mean, we were under the impression that obviously we knew we didn't have the money, so we had to work the long hours, and that kind of made us work harder, and there was no, well, what could we do? We had no money to do anything, so what were we going to do? Go home? No, we're staying in the office till 10 at night, because what we're going to do, go home and spoon each other in our single beds. Do you know what I mean?
We had nothing to do.
So, yeah, so that's why if you have that mentality, then yeah, maybe it will work. It's just not the most advisable, but you know, if you believe in yourself and you've got £6,000 and you can live in a 5-man hostel like Bellamy did in Dira, you know, and you're willing to make those sacrifices, then do it. Do you know what I mean? Come over, I'll get the hostels ready.
It's true though, isn't it? Like, give it a go. Like,
yeah.
And you trust me, there's no the man who has to go back to his hostel with no AC and no water and that, he's gonna work the latest, he's gonna work the longest, he's gonna work the hardest. I think either come out with 50 to 60,000 dirhams or
come out with an insane mindset to be successful.
Yeah, or come out with like mental
strength. Come out being mental.
Mad mental attitude, like mad, like I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna devote everything, I'm gonna give it everything. And you can do it with less money, like we did.
Yeah, 100%. That is it. It is. It's mindset. It's everything. It's the graft you're going to put in. Irrelevant of any experience. It doesn't really matter. We've employed people that have sold potatoes on a farm, bricklayers and carpenters, and they have been some of the best employees we've had. In comparison to employing some real estate agents with real estate experience, come over and they fail because it's just two worlds apart, British real estate and the real estate here. There's a lot of transferable skills, but if you've only got those skills and you haven't got the winning mindset, you're never going to be successful. And you haven't got the work ethic and the graft you need. And that's why tradespeople are so good, because they're used to working 15-hour days in the pissing rain on a roof or bricklaying in the winter. Like sitting in an air-conditioned office and told to make calls and sell houses is just a breeze to them. And it's not a coincidence that every tradesperson we have, I think every tradesperson we've employed have been some of the best employees and hit the ground running. So, yeah. So, I mean, it's not about what you've done. It's about your mindset and your mentality. That leads us on to the next thing, obviously.
We are in the middle of Ramadan / could have just been.
We're in the middle of Ramadan, yeah.
We're in the middle of Ramadan, yeah. So what mindset do you have to have during Ramadan can be potentially a little bit slower to buy real estate? So maybe we should just relax a little bit and go away and work half days? Is that generally
I'd say it's a great time to take holiday and switch off.
Switch off and just relax and maybe work 5 hours, 6 hours, go down the boozer?
Do nothing, get to the pub early.
I think that was what it was, wasn't it? Is that what it... No. Is that what it is?
That's what it is. Yeah. No, I'd say Ramadan has changed massively. In terms of like the last 8 years, it's become more relaxed in terms. Obviously, you've got to respect people fasting and respect the Ramadan rules. But little things like, you couldn't even have a drink of water at a coffee shop outside. It was all boxed up, and now it's a bit more open. It's a bit more free. So you don't notice it so much. And in terms of it's just like anything. If you want to use it as an excuse, then you will use it as an excuse. But the market doesn't slow down in Ramadan. Appreciate some people go on holiday, maybe access could be tricky to some units, or there'll be certain times you can't view. But the flip side of that is people are working less hours. Your sellers are readily available, your buyers are readily available. So if you want to make money, you can make money. And in fact, it's all about the mindset of how you treat anything, how you treat a Christmas period, how you treat Ramadan, how you treat the summer months. People make money throughout the year, no matter what month it is in Dubai real estate. So you just have to have the mindset that nothing's changed and not use it as a crutch to leave early or do less work or just admit defeat before you started.
I don't think this just, like you said, don't think it just applies to Ramadan. It applies to Christmas. It applies to any like holiday, Eid or whatever. But it also, I remember over the years, people been saying like, oh, the market is slower. And I've heard that like in the UK and in England, UK and in Dubai. But my thought process to that, if it is slower in Ramadan or if it is slower at a certain time, like I would just ask, what am I going to do about it? Like if it's slower, then I'm going to have to work harder to compensate for the market or compensate for what's going on. So people, why would you slow down if it's slower? It means you're going to earn less money. You're going to have to ramp it up.
Yeah.
But the other thing is with Ramadan is if there are people out there that are fasting, but they still want to view properties or they still want you to come round and value their house or whatever it is, you might not have as much in terms of quantity of viewings, quantity of buyers, quantity of MAs, but the quality is going to be a lot higher because these guys are fasting or whatever, and they're still wanting to view. They're still wanting to buy a house. So they're going to be buyers that are serious.
No, 100%. If someone's going to come out in the daytime to view property after not eating, all day, then they're serious. So, and it's about just putting the work in to make sure people are out viewing and calling your buyers and keeping in touch with them, keeping in touch with your sellers. Honestly, I mean, we've obviously we're about a week deep into Ramadan now, and I haven't noticed any change whatsoever. Obviously, I've noticed maybe some individuals that might have changed their perspective and their mentality, but in terms of the activity, in terms of leads coming in, nothing's changed. So again, it is on the individual. And if you want to make money, you can make money. It's just switching that mindset.
The job doesn't really change. It's still you're trying to find that client and you're trying to work with that client that's buying.
Yeah, 100%.
And that's the same if you're in Ramadan or you're not. You're looking for that client that's selling and you're looking for that client that's buying,
Yeah. No, 100%. Shame Johnny's not here because he told us a funny story about Ramadan, actually. So, what was it? Shall I tell it? So basically, I'll just tell you, Mark, whether it's in or not. He was like, basically, Ramadan obviously has moved, doesn't it? So Ramadan used to be like midsummer, like when we were first here. And when we was all staying at Chelsea Tower, he was like, obviously the rules were very strict back then. And you couldn't like drink a water. We were told, do not drink water in public. And Johnny was like, I need to get to the mall. But obviously he lived in Chelsea Tower and he was looking at the mall and he was thinking, like, can I make it in this weather? He said the wind was blowing in his face. And he was like, I don't know if I can do it without sipping this water. But he's like, I'm going to give it a go. Obviously, any normal person would have got a taxi, but we had no money. So he was like, right, I'm going to make the walk. So he's like, right. So I started walking. He was going, the wind was hitting my face. So I got halfway. My mouth was dry. I got so scared. I turned around and ran home. And he didn't make it to the mall. And that's the kind of fear that we had instilled with Ramadan back in the day. So, I mean, Ramadan back then, maybe things were a little bit different, but I feel like as it's gone on, it's not so much having an effect on the market. It's just, you just have to be respectful for people's timings and make sure you're not calling people during iftar. And
so just to get that right, Johnny wanted to do about an hour and a half walk to the mall because he didn't have any money to get a taxi.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, it was an hour and a half. I think maybe 45 minutes, isn't it, from where we were?
But that again is doing whatever it takes, isn't it? Like not getting that taxi. People come out here when they first move to Dubai, they're getting bloody stretch limos everywhere. Do you know what I mean? They're living the high life. So
yeah, no, 100%. I mean, yeah, it's just, and he was so respectful of the Ramadan rules that he wouldn't even sip his water, even though he was parched. And he said he couldn't even breathe, and he turned away and ran home. No, mate, what would you say is the best time for a agent to join Dubai Real Estate?
Now.
Right now.
No, I just don't think that there's there's seasons and the market's hotter in certain parts of the year, and then there's a lot of people that might go away in the summer. I just think that your career, if you are serious about this, this can last 5, 6, 10, maybe even 20 years in Dubai. So I just don't think your career is going to be defined by what month you start in Dubai real estate. Yeah. I think you can make money in any month. If there's less people in Dubai to do business with in the summer and you join in May, June, I still think there's going to be plenty of clients in July, August, when you're in rentals that want to move ahead of the start of the school term in September.
100%. So, it's a flip side as well, because obviously, yeah, if it's the summer, a lot of brokers that are senior or been around will go on holiday. So you come as a fresh broker ready to hit it, then you're going to do well. Do you know what I mean? And again, it's back to that mindset perception. You can't look at it that it's summer, there's no one out there. And if there is less business, then you work harder to get it. And also, like you said, we always say the first year in real estate is, I would say, survival. And anyone that says differently, I believe is lying, because it is. You can obviously get very lucky in the first year of real estate and you can land on a deal here or there, or you could hit a big deal. But generally, it's just about survival. So it doesn't matter if you start in January, July, December, because it's not about the first year. It's about getting through the first year, learning your trade, and then the money will come year 2, year 3, year 4, and you can make like obscene amounts of money. But irrelevant of when you start, like you said, it's if you want this forever and it's going to be your career, it's not. This is not a get rich quick scheme, so it's irrelevant when you start. Yeah, I agree. So what kind of people do we want to attract to Williams? Who are we looking for? Obviously, we touched on that the experience isn't necessarily like what we're looking for. So what do we want?
Just people with like the elite mindset, like who are willing to do whatever it takes. Like I want people to know that it's not that easy to get into Williams International. Like the office is nearly full. We have a lot of people that are coming, borderline waiting list now, where people are wanting to join the company, but we don't want to just hire anyone. And it's hard to tell when someone is going to be, like what attitude they're going to have. People talk a good game, but when they get into the office, you think, wow, I thought you said that you worked hard and you're working part-time in our book. So we just want those people with like the elite mindset that are going to do, whatever it takes to be successful.
And I think like as much as we, like you said there, like unfortunately people bullshit a lot. Like I don't think I say that to be fair, but
no, do it, mate.
No, they do. They do. Like in terms of like I say, talk a good game, and they say they work hard, but that's why we stopped using work hard. It's not a work hard mentality because your perception of working hard is different to mine. So it's a whatever it takes attitude, and we do come across that on interviews, and obviously, but in times it has come good, and they have come through on what they've promised, but. A lot of times when we don't, you meet them face to face, it's all done via Zoom. They're moving from the UK. They're bullshitting themselves. So like my advice is don't bullshit yourself. This is a hard job. And if you are pretending that you're going to do it, don't bother coming because you're going to waste your £10,000 savings. You're never going to make it. You're not going to work hard and you're going to hate it. You'll be depressed and you end up back home. So just don't bullshit yourself. And don't bullshit us.
100% of people that you speak to, you ask 100 people in a room, do you work hard? They all say yes. So why does people fail then? Because their standards of what it takes to work hard. Like you need to be falling asleep on the sofa at 9 o'clock every day for the first year in real estate. Like when you're in leasing, you're just starting, you don't know anything about Dubai real estate. 5-6 days a week, falling asleep at 9 p.m. on the sofa because you've given it everything. And if you don't do that, you will 100% fail. Well,
at least we don't get any more applications anymore. Anyway, I'm just getting everybody off of wanting to do Dubai real estate. But I just think it's best to be truthful in this. And on the flip side, you come in and you give it all, and you are honest to how much you want it. Then we've had people make 150, 160,000 pound in their first year take home. So it's doable. But you have to be honest and true to yourself. So that's the kind of person we're looking for. I think as a company, we probably are offering a lot more than other companies in terms of progression. And this is down the line. This is future. We've got plans to open up, obviously, a couple more offices. Well, 5 hopefully in total over the next however long it takes. But within these offices, we want to be offering not just sales director roles and being a trainer or a manager, but we're looking for people from within Williams to actually be a business partner with myself, with you and with Johnny of that actual office. So that's something we're bringing in. And the next office we open, hopefully by the end of the year, we've got people already that are looking for that role. So we want to create business owners. And I think that's something that's not been done in the market. And I don't think it'll be emulated.
I think the term career progression gets thrown about a lot in Dubai real estate, when in my opinion I don't think that there's too much. Yes, you can get higher percentage commission as an agent, but if you're a decent top agent, when you go to being a manager, chances are you might earn less. So like, where's the progression? If it were me, I'm speaking, this is why I'm doing this, because I think when I was an employee, I'd have loved it if somebody said to me, you work hard, you do whatever it takes, you do what we're saying, and you strive for your success, and I'll go into business with you. I don't think that there's any possible better progression than becoming a partner, an actual business partner with equity stake in that office. There's nothing better to do that. And the reason why we want to do that is obviously a few reasons. Why don't you explain couple of reasons why we want to give away equity in a company rather than keeping it all for ourselves.
I mean, it's looking after top talent, essentially. We don't want to lose the best of the best when they want more. And it happened before. I've had one of my best friends set up a firm and he's doing really well and I'm really happy for him. But if we had an opportunity like this, maybe he would, maybe he wouldn't. And he would still be working with us, a fantastic agent. He would have shares in the business. He'd be a business owner and we wouldn't have lost him. And it just resonated with us. Why do we want to lose these top brokers when we can butt heads with them and the ideas that we come up with will be tenfold better than just me and you, or me, you and Johnny. So that's one of the main reasons for doing it. Then just to offer something a bit different in the market. And we want people to stay with Williams, like, I'll say forever, but like, obviously everyone has their own journeys, but as long as they can and give more than anyone's been given before. And I think that the way to retain top talent is offer them something that they deserve. If they've been grafting and they're billing and they're a leader and they've been with us 3-4 years, or even a year, 2 years, but they're showing that kind of like mentality of a business owner, which every agent really should because they are mini business owners, then why would we want to lose them? And we will lose them to setting up their own firm if we didn't have something like this. So now it's an opportunity. Maybe they still will go on their own journey, which is absolutely fine, and we'll stand by them. We even help them like we have done before. But hopefully they'd want to come on a journey with us.
I think another significant reason is to have, rather than having one huge office where it's kind of like a call center vibes, 500 people in one big office, to have 5 offices strategically placed around Dubai is going to benefit the brokers, because I genuinely don't think I could look a new starter in leasing in the eye when they start, knowing that they would have to travel 45 minutes to an hour just to do one viewing.
Yeah.
Like, it's 2.5 hours out of your day to do one viewing, and you might make 3, 4, 5K. I would be doing a disservice to my agents by saying, that's your area, and by the way, you've got to travel an hour to get there.
Yeah.
You've got to travel for 2 hours. So the idea is that we have offices that every single agent that works for Williams International, their office is within 15 minutes, max 20 minutes of the area that they do. And that's going to save a lot of time. That's going to make sure that the agents are more efficient, and it makes sure that we are adhering to our promise, which is to provide the best possible platform to be a success.
Yeah, 100%. So that's it from us today. If anyone has any suggestions about what you want to hear from us, then please leave it in the comments box below.
Don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you want to see any of our previous podcasts, they will appear here and here.